Welcome to The Functional Esthetician, a podcast where skin health meets whole body wellness. I'm Samantha Dunch, a licensed esthetician, owner of Skin Deep Aesthetics, author, and a doctor of functional medicine. My mission is to help you see the bigger picture because healthy skin starts from within. In each episode, we'll explore the gut-skin axis, hormones, nutrition, skincare, and wellness tools you can use to transform your skin. Welcome to the Functional Esthetician Podcast. I'm your host, Samantha Dunch. Today's special guest is ZuZu, a holistic health educator. ZuZu brings a very practical and relatable approach to holistic health, blending personal experience with science-backed education. We are going to talk about gut health, nervous system regulation, nutrition, and simplifying wellness in a world that often overcomplicates it. Before we get to today's interview, let me introduce ZuZu. Karen ZuZu Arms is a holistic health educator, speaker, and co-founder of Holistic Health Educators and Lily Fields Retreat Center. After overcoming her own health challenges naturally, she has spent decades helping others reconnect with their bodies through practical, holistic wellness. She is passionate about creating empowering experiences that help people feel healthier, more energized, and more connected to themselves. Hi, ZuZu. Welcome to the Functional Esthetician Podcast.
Thank you. And I just get such a kick out of you, by the way, because you're so fun on your podcast and you look so formal and fancy. So I just think you do amazing. You're very inspirational.
Thank you. I'm going to have you introduce yourself. Tell us a little background and history of how you got started and how you got to where you are today.
Okay, I go by ZuZu. My name is Karen, but don't tell anybody. Okay, I was raised Karen. It's okay. I'm not one of them, but I up in Wisconsin in the middle of nowhere on the lake with 17 boys and one girl. So she became my best friend. She still is. It's been 54 years of being best friends. Anyhow, and I just grew up with epilepsy and just played and was normal, sort of. And it was just a lot of fun. And when I got married, when I was in my early 20s, I was like, wait a minute, I don't want to be on all this medication. So I just started studying how to get off of medication for epilepsy. And I was on 3 of them and was able to successfully get off of my medications and started having children. And the doctors were like, oh, we're going to put tubes in your child's ears. And I'm like, no, you're not. And that's when I learned about homeopathy. And that's when I learned about herbs. And so it just evolved into helping a lot of people with their health. And then I was like, well, might as well open a store. So I opened a store and then I was like, well, I might as well open up a wellness center and become a certified something. So I became a holistic healthcare practitioner, which was amazing. It was absolutely an amazing journey. And now I have an international school with students all over the world and they can speak 100 different languages. And we are just really excited to be doing what we're doing. And I'm so thankful you let me come on today because if I can inspire anyone to make a few changes in their life so they can enjoy incredible vitality and energy, I am here to help. So thank you.
I love that. So let's go back a little bit because you said you had epilepsy and you were able to heal that and get off medication. So walk us through that journey.
Sure. It was exciting. I found out I was pregnant after we were married a few months and I was like, well, I better start now. And so just started reading a lot about epilepsy and dendrites and the nervous system. And I just started reversing it with food. So I actually did use food, a lot of different foods to stop my seizures. As a holistic healthcare practitioner now, back then, they didn't talk about neurotransmitters and they didn't talk about GABA. They didn't talk a lot about what was actually happening in my body. But now, having been able to help countless people with their seizures or epilepsy, their Tourette's, whatever it might be, actual Y chromosomes, it is GABA deficiency. Actually, a lot of people are GABA deficient right now ever since COVID because we wiped out our probiotics by using Purell hand sanitizers and all that crap. We destroyed our microbiome. And GABA, just like many of the things that our body makes, neurotransmitters are made by the nervous system, hormones are made by the endocrine system, but all of these building blocks of our body, a lot of them need diverse microbiome. And when you kill off the healthy bacteria and the bad ones take over, well, then you get yeast infections and candida and all sorts of things. But you also can't make some of the most important parts of your body, which are your neurotransmitters and your hormones. And so it's been really amazing because we can regenerate that nervous system for sure. And you can definitely start making your own neurotransmitters again. if you have the right building blocks. And so it was really neat because what I learned then, now I can talk about it scientifically and talk about GABA, what it's formed from, what you can do to eat your foods into better health again, and what to avoid to not ruin your nervous system. So yeah, it's been an incredible journey.
I love that you started with food, because I think most people hear, oh, I have this issue or I have that issue, and they look to supplements. They don't look to food. And the other interesting thing that you were talking about is all the neurotransmitters and how a disrupted gut microbiome impacts all of that.
Yes, and amen. I get the whole biohacking thing, but I'm so done with this. And I know it's just starting. And I'm like, no, you guys, you don't have to all go spend $20,000 or $40,000 on biohacking equipment. You should become kitchen hackers first. So I call myself the kitchen hacker, but like literally start in the kitchen. I mean, it's so easy. Let me explain to you a nerve, then you'll know how easy it is to understand. The body's extremely easy to understand. When you start putting fancy 40-letter words to the body, it's going to become complicated, but it really isn't. It is a machine, it is an engine, and it is amazing. And the nervous system has nerves. And if you consider a big pen your nerve, just for demonstration purposes only. So this is your nerve, and that black little line is the nerve. This is myelin sheath. And that myelin sheath is what your nerves run through. Well, guess what? Your myelin sheath is made of fats. So all the fats you eat in a day make your myelin sheath. So what are you eating? Are you eating deep fried foods and then you expect to have a good nervous system? That ain't going to happen. And so we actually need to look at the fats we're eating and be like, okay, I love avocados now. Oh, I'm going to do some raw organic first plus olive oil or coconut oil or grass-fed butter that's organic, because that's going to build your myelin sheath. And then the biggest thing I think most people aren't aware of is that sugar destroys the myelin sheath. So when we eat sugar and grain and dairy, those are actually working against our nervous system. And so just the understanding that our nervous system can be regenerated, and we've seen it over and over and over and over and over and over for 20 some years now. And I experienced it because I don't have epilepsy. I think I had one aura, which is like that 30-second warning before a seizure, one aura maybe 6 months into all the food and the changes I had made, and that was it. So yeah, I've been seizure-free now. I'm 58 years old, so I've been seizure-free since I was 21. So pretty exciting. Yeah.
That's amazing. And I love that you talk about fat, because I feel like that is the one thing we don't get enough of. And it's funny that you were talking about grass-fed butter. I make brown butter and I eat it every night before bed just to give myself that extra boost of fat.
Yeah, I'm glad you do. It's really interesting too, because the old time ago, they were like, oh yeah, fats make you fat. And I'm like, oh gracious, no. I mean, if you look at fats, carbohydrates, and proteins, you need them all. But the wrong fats will. The wrong fats won't be utilized by the nervous system. The wrong fats, well, they might, and you'll start getting, obviously nervous system disorders like ADD, whatever you're going to get. But you literally store it, because the body's like, well, what am I going to do with this? I mean, we can't really break it down, can't really use it. We're going to store it. And so, yes, that is part of it. But that's why, like, when people want to lose weight, going into that ketogenic diet, that can be very helpful for the short term only. Those are very beneficial. But when it comes to epilepsy and issues with the nervous system, we actually recommend the ketogenic diet, sometimes for a longer period. I don't usually do keto for more than 6 months ever, because, well, we just need to make sure you have enough fiber, because fiber is what feeds your microbiome, and you have more bacteria than you do human cells. But with something like epilepsy or Tourette's, making sure they maintain high fats throughout their life is going to transform their health. And on the fat thing, I'm telling you, Samantha, there are so many people who are way too high in omega-6s and not near enough omega-3s. And there needs to be a balance. And that balance ideally would be 3-to-1 or 1-to-1. So, but most people in America, actually the worldwide, you are looking at so many more fats that are omega-6s and not near enough omega-3s. And then people have inflammation. I can't even get into all the different issues that will happen when you have the wrong types of balance of fat, but the heart disease, everything that bad fats can lead to. So if anybody listening can do one thing, it's bring in more olive oil, bring in more of the omega-3s, the avocados and hemp seeds and chia seeds and flax seeds and walnuts, right? Bring in some more of the omega-3s to kind of balance off some of the omega-6s.
And I want to talk about omega-6s, because I feel like we hear that, but most people don't understand what is an omega-6. I know you and I both know seed oils are high in omega-6s, but what else would be high in omega-6 that you should avoid?
Well, there's a lot of things. I'm going to bring up, I have a graph. I do everything in charts because I'm slightly insane when it comes to that. And so like my students are like, they get a chart for minerals. They get a chart for vitamins. They get a chart for amino acids, which I love. They get a chart for like everything because I'm just like, everything should have a chart, right? So on the omegas and understanding fats, you have all the different enzymes as well. And your omega-6s, we have so many different types of omegas and where they come from. And so a lot of omega-6s are found in animals, right? They're essential fatty acids. They're necessary for us, but your body can't make omega-6s. So you need to get them through your food. But again, you don't want to get that many of them, right? And so that is what you're looking at. So your AA, your GLA, your linoleic acid, those are the omega-6s that are primary, the ones people are looking at. And in your nuts and your butters and your seeds and your vegetables, there's a lot of linoleic acid, which can actually lead to a lot of issues. So bringing in the omega-3s are so important. And the easiest way to do that is really to enjoy using them in food. And I tell people all the time, it's easy to do a really strong, really good organic olive oil, but it's so easy to throw all these healthy omegas into your smoothies. If you make a smoothie throughout the day, at some point you're throwing in chia seeds and hemp seeds and flax seeds. It's very beneficial to the body.
Yeah. That's amazing. I love it. I want to shift gears. I want to talk about the connection between the gut health, the nervous system, and long-term wellness.
Well, that's everything. Well, we're done. Okay.
We're done, period.
I work with the gut every day. I have clients all day. And it is really interesting because so many gut issues are happening and people are following the advice that they're finding like on Instagram and TikTok. You guys be very careful because these are paid influencers right now. They're everywhere and they're cute and they have big breasts and whatever else, right? But I'm telling you, you got to be careful because that doesn't mean because they're adorable that they're recommending something that you do want to be taking. So just be careful. But the problem with the gut is I think a lot of people are dealing with bloating, which is because they have too much bacteria in their small intestine. And then they go to the doctor and they get antibiotics, which is all wrong the entire way. And so we need to be very careful with our bacteria because the good bacteria are going to get rid of the bad bacteria. That's what they do. And you have 95% good bacteria in the body. And you have 70 trillion bacterial cells in your body. You are just a living wall of bacteria, which is amazing. It's all over your skin. It's in your prostate, men. It's everywhere. And when we have an imbalance, that could lead to prostate cancer. That can lead to gut issues. That can lead to yeast infections, and that can lead to cancers. And that can lead to so many different things. The number one thing is to realize where bacteria is in the body and what it feeds on and what it produces, because you might hear the word prebiotic and postbiotic, right? And probiotic. So the prebiotic is going to feed the probiotics, and then the probiotics make postbiotics, which are a lot of your vitamins are made by bacteria. Thank you, bacteria. So when someone's like, oh yeah, I'm really deficient in B vitamins, I'm like, well, let's check out your microbiome. We got to figure out what's going on. And just in the colon alone, you have thousands of varieties of microbiome. And here's the cool part is all of the microbiome in the body is fed by fiber. So we can't break fiber down. All fiber does is help clean us out so we have beautiful bowel movements every single day. Hallelujah, right? All of you should be having 1 or 2 bowel movements a day. If you're not, see me. But anyhow, fiber is incredible for that. But fiber is also the only food bacteria really needs to thrive. And so when you eat a diverse amount of fiber, then you have this diverse microbiome that comes to life in the body. And it's neat because if we continue to eat fiber, you need less and less probiotics. You don't need to go taking a probiotic because your body is already feeding the ones you already have in the body. And there's products people can buy. Most people just go buy regular probiotics and they get their lactobacillus and they think that that's phenomenal. And that's nice, but there's like hundreds of varieties of bacteria that you actually need to be putting in the body. So we teach a lot on that because it is quite diverse. And of course we have charts for that because we have charts for everything. Our students are like chart maniacs, but if I can inspire anyone today, it would be to eat a more diverse amount of fiber throughout the day. So if you don't want to do a smoothie, then maybe do a salad. And instead of having 2 or 3 things like, carrots and, some really old carrots and some cucumbers or something, like really diversify. Go get a lot of different vegetables, nuts and seeds, put them on your salad and eat some vegetables at night with your dinner. Really, really expand your vegetable, nut, seed, and fruit content to get a lot more fiber. And oh my gosh, it is absolutely amazing. I will say though, if you have bloating, you probably don't want to eat much fiber and you definitely don't want to take probiotics. Most often people are dealing with what's called SIBO, small intestinal bacteria overgrowth. Please don't look it up on AI because they're going to tell you the wrong things. Trust me, if you're all young and you're like, oh, ChatGPT is like the world. It's not. It is so wrong. If you talk to anybody in the health industry, we're all going to tell you the same thing. Please don't use that. But you can use closed AI systems. So if you're going to go and follow your favorite guru and they have a closed AI system, then you're good. Like we have a closed AI system for our students. It's called Ask ZuZu. And it has all the information that I've taught, that our doctors have taught, that are in our program. We have over 120 different doctors and professionals that are in our program that teach with us. So at least look for a closed AI system. Back to SIBO. That simply means that some of the bacteria from the colon actually like knocked on the door and they came right over into the small intestine because maybe you weren't exercising really well, or maybe you were sitting on a chair the whole time, or maybe you just got a little bit lazy and that ileocecal valve opened up and then the little bacteria in the colon were like,
come on in.
They went to the small intestine, honey, and they were like, heaven, come on over. And then all this bacteria came into your small intestine and they were feasting on the fiber. And what does bacteria do? Off gases. That's how it poops, right? It off gases endotoxins, right? And so we then have all this air that creates bloating, creates belching, creates disdain in the abdomen. It can create all sorts of issues. So double down with some candida and you're having a whole party in there you got to get rid of, but antibiotics are not the answer. So we do recommend other things to do that. There's different essential oils you can use, some phenomenal products out there. So just be careful. So if you are hearing me and you're like, okay, that's it, I'm going to like diversify my microbiome. Great. This is a wonderful start. But if you're bloated, let's just take it a little easy for a minute. Let's get rid of that SIBO and then move forward.
And that's when I feel like working with a professional is really important, because influencers will tell you to do this and do that. And you were saying you go on AI and it'll tell you, 30 different ideas and things to do. And I'm glad you brought up probiotics, because I feel like people see the word probiotic and they think, oh, I have to have a healthy gut, so I just start taking probiotics and it makes it worse. And I can't tell you how many clients have come to see me and they're like, my gut is such a mess. I've been taking probiotics. I've been doing this and doing that. And I'm like, because you're just throwing gas on the fire.
Yeah. And they don't know because everything's got probiotics now. And I'm just going to throw my 2 cents worth in here because I can, but yeah, I would highly recommend no one ever buy yogurt. You can buy, if you want coconut yogurt, great. You can make it at home too. Super, super, super easy to do. But I cannot begin to tell you the nightmare that actual yogurt from some of your big companies you all have heard of. I know way too much, and I'm telling you, you got to be very careful with those kind of probiotic foods, because that is not going to help anybody's body. Number one, we're not meant or designed to suck out of a cow. I mean, a baby calf is designed to suck out of a cow. We are not. But number two, the probiotics that they use literally get, if you've ever watched a video on how they make yogurt, you can see the probiotics being delivered in a hazmat truck. And then I met with a developer who actually designed some of the larger yogurt factories. And he's like, I'll never eat yogurt. He goes, after what I know now, he's like, because the people that work with the yogurt have to wear hazmat uniforms. I'm sorry, but in my kitchen, Miss Kitchen Hacker over here, to make yogurt includes 1 or 2 probiotics that you open up into a glass jar that has a can of organic coconut milk, and then you leave it sit on your counter, and there's no hazmat anything. Like, you can just make it and it's done in a couple days. So we do recommend that you be careful with your yogurts on that.
My boyfriend actually makes the SIBO yogurt.
Oh, what a good boyfriend.
He loves it. And it's taken a couple tries for him to get it right, but it's really helping his gut.
Good. Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah. So I feel like if somebody is into yogurt, they should look into making the SIBO yogurt versus buying the yogurt.
Yes, please. Yeah, there's a good company out there called Coco June, and it's a coconut yogurt. So if you're like, I just have to have yogurt someone else makes, I mean, at least it's a place to start. But there's Coco Kefir. There's so many neat coconut companies out there now. Then many of them are organic, and they're little bottles. And just be warned, if you buy coconut yogurt and you open it and it pops open, that's okay. You can still eat all of it. It just had pressure because your probiotics are still growing. They're still eating the sugars that are in that little jar. So you don't have to throw that out by any means. So having owned grocery stores, organic grocery stores, that was one thing people would be like, but it just exploded. It's okay to explode. You can still eat all of it. It's just doing its job, fermenting.
Exactly. I want to talk a little bit about simplifying your daily habits because if someone's listening and they're probably thinking, wow, this is a lot of information, like I'm very overwhelmed. What are some simple daily things that they can start to help improve their gut, their health, their energy?
Well, that's easy. Number one, you wake up and smile. So wake up and don't sit there and think about what you have to do today and get all worried about it. Attitude is everything. Where focus goes, energy flows all the time. So focus on getting well. Number one, I call it dis-ease because it's not a disease, it's a dis-ease of the cell. But is your dis-ease or your discomfort in the body, is this an identity to you now? Like if you have MS, is that like everybody knows you have MS and that's just how it's going to be? Or are you Mrs. Fibromyalgia? I have met plenty of those. So are you Mr. ED and you just no matter what can't have that erection? I mean, what is your identity with you? If you have an identity, we need to change the wording in your life. And that happens. I meet them. I meet people who will come in and I'll have them on a full protocol, but then no one will give them all the attention that they're normally getting. So that is real. So if you can make sure you're not living with a title, that would be great. So I am, or I have a hard time sleeping. I have MS. I'm going to change some of the wording a little bit. So that's the number two thing. The third thing would be drink lots more water. Most people are simply dehydrated. Their whole body will amazingly go back together again if they drink more water. And I'm not talking tap water. I'm drinking like real water. So, get some good filtered water from wherever you do your filtering, but please don't drink tap water. Really consider drinking more. I really recommend not drinking anything out of plastic, including all your plastic water bottles. So be really attentively careful. If you are going to buy like a plastic water bottle, at least get really old plastic. So it's off gas because it does take years for plastic to off gas. And the stuff you're buying at your local convenience store definitely wasn't off gassed a second before water was put into that hot plastic. So be really careful. But drinking more water and then more salt. Most people need more salt, period. A lot of people don't have enough sodium or they'll have the wrong types of sodium. So a real salt, Himalayan salt, sea salts, really bringing in more salt would be amazing. These are all simple and free things, by the way. Well, filtered water might cost a few pennies a gallon, but those are things we can definitely do. And then probably the easiest thing is consider your cells are floating in liquid. And inside of the cell, there is liquid. So if we don't have enough good floating liquid, our cells are going to get stuck together and they're not going to be able to absorb properly. So kind of picture yourselves in the lazy river. And what is the water? What is the fluid you're surrounding that cell with? Are you only living off of coffee or energy drinks? This might be a time where you go get some lemons or some limes or some tea bags and you start doing something a little different. So at least you're cleaning up the water and you're cleaning up the sludge that your cells are floating in. And if you drink coffee, for every glass of coffee, you need 2 more glasses of water because that's super important as well. So just being aware of the fluids that we're drinking. And then obviously, what are we eating? I'm obviously a big proponent of a whole food based meal. So very much your vegetables, nuts and seeds, some low sugar fruits. I avoid grain personally. All the retreats that we do here at Lily Fields, there's no grain, there's no sugar, and there's no dairy. And I'm telling you, everyone loves the food. They can't wait for the recipes. They love making the food. It is really, really enjoyable to see how the body can heal with just food alone. I've seen it over and over and over again, over and over and over again. I actually have a couple of videos. They're like a second long, but we do live blood cell analysis here. So we can look at people's blood and be able to show you what it is before and then after, just a little bit of detox and then good food. So this is going to blow your mind. This is really crazy, but this is a woman and that's a lot of mold, gut toxins, bacteria. Look at the cells. They're not healthy at all. No. If those of you who can't see, they're all like stuck together. They're not formed well. They're all in like these ovals. They're stuck together. There's bacteria, candida, mold. It looks awful. 7 days of eating our food. Are you ready for this one? This is so cool. 7 days.
Wow.
At a retreat. I know. Aren't they beautiful? They're like
happy.
They're
that is amazing. I am going to drop a link in the show notes so that way they can watch this video and see what you're talking about. That's incredible.
It is. And they're happy and they're circular and they're breathing and they're able to absorb. Her whole life changed in 7 days.
I believe it.
From literally doing a sauna every day and detoxing throughout the day, taking a detox tea, walking in nature, using our red light therapy. We have all sorts of toys, of course, because we're a clinic. But the number one thing is food. You change the food and what you drink and your whole life can change. And so And for those who are thinking it might be overwhelming, it really isn't. I talk a lot and I put a lot out whenever I do a podcast. The reason is because if it's not in, it never can come out. So the words I'm speaking, even though some things maybe not everybody's getting, at least it's going into the mind, and then it's going to come out again. Like, it's going to come out again. And so don't be afraid to keep learning and growing. But the basic thing is wake up happy, make yourself happy, get rid of your titles, start drinking more water, get more salt. Most people need it. And then start watching what you're drinking. You need water. You need to hydrate the body more than you need any kind of food. So if you're hungry and you want to lose weight, drink more water. And some really cool studies have come out showing that, because I put a lot of people on fasts. I've recommended a lot of different types of fasting over the last 20 some years. Water fasting is incredible. One of the number one ways you can literally renew your pancreas. And I've had several people get rid of stage 4 pancreatic cancer by going on a long-term water fast. But the cool study that I want to implement right now, or at least share with you for anybody losing weight, is if you add fiber to your water, you don't get hungry throughout the day, because the bacteria is what needs the food, right? The bacteria is like, hey, I need some more down here, right? I need some, or I need iodine, so eat some of this or that. Like, you're going to crave certain foods depending on what your body needs. But for losing weight, easy peasy, adding fiber to your water. So squeeze half a lemon in there, throw a scoop of fiber in there, and be happy. Like, it's amazing what can happen when we just give the body a little bit what it needs and keep those bacteria happy, because they're running the show, honey. You have like 50 trillion human cells. That's lovely. You got like 70 trillion bacteria that are hungry. So it's fun.
And you talked about detox teas. Now, I know that there's some controversy about that, because most people that do a detox tea on their own do it incorrectly. So when you're doing a detox, I feel like it's important to have a practitioner really walk you through that, because these influencers tell you, oh, do this and do that, and you end up hurting yourself. So I want to have you talk a little bit about detox and what people do wrong with them.
You betcha. So the number one thing with detox is everything you put in needs to come out. Just remember that. Like, it's going to get used by the body or it needs to come out. There's only 4 ways out of the body. That's it. So you can have it through your bowels, you can urinate it, it can come through the skin, or it's going to come up right through your mouth, right? You're going to exhale it or vomit it. So real lovely, right? And so the biggest problem with detoxes going wrong, which is a lot of them, is that they're not having bowel movements. If you don't have 2 or 3 bowel movements a day, do not start a detox. Do not start a detox regimen, because you are going to be pulling metals or crap out of your cell matrix, right? Out of the organs, out of adipose tissue. And then where's it going to go? Well, if you're not having a bowel movement, you got a problem. And a lot of people don't realize, like, the number one cause of high blood pressure is constipation. And here's why. This is so gross. Are you ready? If you're not having bowel movements every day, that crap literally gets absorbed back into your bloodstream. Oh, now that's lovely, because now you're crapping on all your friends. And so the biggest problem with detox is they're not doing it correctly. So making sure the bowels are moving, super, super important. I'll tell you 6 of the main reasons people are constipated, because these are the 6 things you can all address. Number 1, not enough water. Number 2, not enough fiber. Number 3, because that's what your bacteria is doing in your colon, trying to get all that fiber, and then it's cleaning it out, and it's going to help you have that acidic movement. Number 3, movement. We don't have enough movement. Number 4, we don't have enough magnesium. Most people are very magnesium deficient. Number 5, probiotics. You need really a lot of good, healthy probiotics, and you make them. Just so you know, if you have an appendix, you have probiotics. That is what the appendix is important for. It's very important, a very important organ in the body. The appendix can release just picture them like little seeds of probiotics, right? That will come out. And if you're drinking water from the stream and then you get some kind of bug in there, if you have an appendix, and if it's still in good condition and not completely inhabited by parasites, then boom, it can release different little seeds, little probiotic seeds, so to speak, to make it easy. And then that can grow in the body. So probiotics are important. There is a product I would love to mention, because there's not a product like this anywhere else in the world. But one of my friends and someone who works in our school as well, Kieran, he discovered HU58. And HU58 is literally a probiotic that we recommend everyone in the world take at least a bottle of it, 1 or 2 bottles of it. This is why, because they found, I think it's about 11 probiotics. These are antibiotics, by the way, that were naturally formed in the body that were somehow annihilated through all these years. Anyhow, so they actually have regrown them, and HU58 is something we make sure people take it before they go out of the country, just to diversify their antibiotics that are naturally made in the body. And that's what basically your probiotics are helping you do, is to help to strengthen the immune system. When you hear, oh, my immune system lives in my guts, it's because that's where your probiotics are, right? You have such a need for natural antibodies in the body, and the HU58 actually can promote that. So just put it out there as a side note. The sixth thing, by the way, is being your cell phone. If that cell phone's always in your back pocket, always in the front pocket, you're just causing constipation and probably testicle issues if you're a man, and fallopian tube and all sorts of crap with the women. So we have EMFs are extremely, especially if you have the like rechargeable metal thing on the end of your phone, so you can just throw it up to a magnet and you're charging. Oh my gosh, you're putting that against your testicles, guys, or you're putting that next to your women areas, like, or your breast. If you're one of those who's still putting your phone in your breast, that's out of there, honey. No more breast pockets for you. So I think it's just something where constipation needs to be addressed before detox. Once we're having those 2 or 3 bowel movements a day, you betcha, then you can enjoy certain detoxes. But yeah, working with someone who makes the teas for you, helps you understand how to do a detox. And parasite is different than detox. So there's obviously anti-parasitical protocols, and there's detox protocols. But the number one way to detox the body is to don't put it in. That was easy. There's my button.
That was easy.
I know, I love my that was easy button.
I love it. That's awesome.
I take it on stage with me all the time. But don't put toxins in and you won't have so much to get out. So just pay more attention to what you're eating, drinking, and putting on your skin, and you'll feel a lot better. I'm 58. I feel phenomenal. I had my first green drink exactly 40 years ago. And I went through menopause, didn't feel a thing, didn't have a single hot flash. I don't have any problem lubricating. And I can say that because I don't. And my husband and I have a wonderful life that way. And it's because I'm not on hormones. My hormones are balanced. My blood work is balanced. Like, I'm doing great because your body is designed to renew itself all the time. Don't put toxins in and you won't have so much toxic coming out.
Right. I feel like we could do a whole episode on that. So before we close, is there anything you want to leave our listeners with that they can start implementing today?
Just the belief that you are able to help reverse dis-ease in the body. And always look at who's telling you information. Always look at who's telling you information. Where are you getting your information from? If you're going to a dermatologist, do they have amazing skin? Are they vibrant? Are they beautiful? Are they alive? Right? If you're going to a doctor, is he beautiful? Is he thin? Is she beautiful? Is she thin? What is she doing? Like, how many medications are they on? Ask them, right? Just ask them. And there's nothing wrong with that. I have medical doctors that are dear friends that are in our programs. Like, I work with medical doctors all over the world, have for decades. But there's a difference in medical doctors. You can find those that are very proactive. They're open to this. And by the way, 1/3 of our students with Holistic Health Educators, which is our online school of natural medicine, 1/3 of our students are doctors and nurses and nurse practitioners, nurses. We are loaded, chiropractors, dentists. They come through our program because we simply teach things that aren't taught in medical school, that aren't taught at Johns Hopkins. And we know that. My daughter graduated from Johns Hopkins. We know what's not being taught there. And so, to me, we're primary care, and the medical industry is complementary medicine, right? If you need some diagnostics, yeah, we're going to use them. You cut off your arm, with a chainsaw, you better go to the emergency room. Like, we need each other. The Western and Eastern hemispheres have come together. And I believe that things have really changed quite a bit, and people are looking and seeking to merge Eastern and Western medicine for good. And that's what I'd love to leave you with, is it's possible. So don't get discouraged. There is so much hope out there, so much hope. And people like me, we see it. We see it all the time. I see it all the time. And all I can say is that you do have the power within you to reverse dis-ease and to live an abundant life. You really do.
Yeah. No, I love that. I think that's great advice. How can everybody connect with you? What's your website? What's your education website? And what are your social media channels?
If you just go to ZuZuUnleashed.com, you can go everywhere. I actually put together mini courses. So a mini course on cancer and a mini course on POTS, so that people can get some information right away. Holistic Health Educators is our school, and we do a lot with Holistic Health Educators. So every month we have different career fairs that you can join for a weekend or for 4 hours. We are always sharing information. We do a little bit with social media, a lot coming. Trust me, we have so much coming. So you can definitely you'll find links to our social medias online. We're there and we're happy to help any way that we can.
Sounds good. I will drop the link to your website in the show notes so that way they can click and check you out.
Wonderful. Thank you, Miss Samantha. And thanks for all you're doing to help all these wonderful people that come to see you in the beautiful land of Chicago.
ZuZu, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for listening. Today we had on our special guest, ZuZu. We talked about healing dis-ease naturally through foods, healthy diet, good fats, nervous system regulation, gut health, and your gut microbiome, and how to make simple changes and shift your mindset so you can start to heal. Please check the show notes to connect with ZuZu. Be sure to tune in next Tuesday to episode 37. We are going to be talking about menopause and healthy aging. You don't want to miss this one. And always remember, you deserve to love the skin you're in. As estheticians, we have such a unique opportunity to not only care for the skin on the surface, but to guide our clients towards deeper wellness. If this episode gave you something to think about, share it with me on Instagram @SkinDeepIL. I look forward to connecting with you there. And if you enjoyed this conversation, subscribing and reviewing the podcast helps others find these conversations too. And always remember, you deserve to love the skin you're in.